Mine was easy because I went to high school in the U.S. I went to high school in the U.S. Then after that, I did go back home, but I knew it would be much easier for me to study in the U.S. than my home country because our school system is based more, my home country, on the British system. And if I want to go to a university in the U.K., I would have to change everything over. So it was just much easier for me to come to school in the U.S. Going to high school here, you definitely, we got exposed to the different colleges. And I was always also interested in coming to the school, in a U.S. school. Being the style of learning was one thing, and then another thing, what I wanted to study. I'm a business management major, and eventually I'm looking to go into event industry. And where else to start? But the U.S. is a lot of opportunities, a lot of experience. So that's part of why I chose the U.S. One thing I would say, if you're looking to go to school outside, you need to start networking. That's important. Like nowadays, there's a lot of ways you can network. So try to network with people outside of your home and see what, not only about the education is key, but the environment is also important. So that's one thing I would tell them. And whatever field you intend to study, do your research. One place might be better than the other one in terms of that. Because I went to high school in the U.S. and it was in Maryland, I knew about Mason already. So I kind of knew they have a good business school of management program. So that's what I was looking for. I wanted to go into school that have a good school of management, and then be in an area too where I can be able to move around. My other choice would have been Cornell, being in New York. But this is a great area because you got Maryland, D.C., and Virginia all in one. So I started the process in August, and everything was completed by October. But the part where I had the most problem is getting my I-20 sent to my country. That was the biggest itch that I had. But, because when they send it from northern New Mexico, it end up in another African country that has a city, Freetown, which I didn't know until that time. So, it took a lot of headache for me to get my I-20. I got my I-20 like a couple of weeks before I left. What I would do is, sometimes, not all people, but a lot of people, they just use school as an excuse to come to the U.S. Don't be one of those people. Make sure that you really want to come to the U.S. Somebody that went for the interview that was very impressive, they knew about the school they were coming to, they knew the history, so you knew that person was coming to the U.S. to go to school. But don't just go and stand in front of a consular office like, yeah, I want to come and study to the U.S., I want to come and do this. That's not helpful. That's not helping you. But if you go there like, yes, I'm going to Mason, the reason why I chose Mason is because of blah, 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 that helps you along. So do your research and make sure that you are coming to the U.S. to go to school. That's the advice I would give. What I did, resigned from my job and pack up my house. That's one of the things I did. And another thing, went online and started doing research about the area where I'm going to be living, and that was very, very important. So even before I left Sierra Leone, because Northern New Mexico College, they have like campus in one city, but the city where I was going to be, they didn't have a campus, so I need to get off-campus housing. So even before I left, I already set up some housing appointments for me. So that was important. So that's one of the key thing that I did. I made sure I set up housing, and I also checked that, when I get there, what are the other things I will need, like utilities to set up, what thing my housing came with, and all those little things. So that was one of the main things I did, yeah. I did feel welcome, and one thing I liked about it, they did like a group session, divided us into our major. That was very, very helpful in helping us select our class. So that was like, I think 10 people to a room. So that small group was really better, because when we started, it was all these people, over 300 people in one room. But when they split it up, that was the best part of the orientations. We not only did somebody talk to us, and after that, you wait your turn and you get to, you spoke to the lady one-on-one and asked any questions, if you have any question about transfer credit and things like that. So that part of the orientation was very helpful to me. that was being a kid. I just thought the only thing I had was, I just thought, like, you know, the stars that you see on TV, especially Michael Jackson. I just thought maybe I can be walking in the street and maybe run into Michael Jackson. So that's what I had, but I didn't have any, you know, thing, because, you know, I had an advantage. I started traveling at a young age. I've been to the UK, so I was exposed. So, you know, I didn't have it like when I come to the US, everything is just going to fall into place for me. So I knew that ahead of time that wasn't going to happen.